Okay, so we're going to try now to go to the third class of mastering Lashon Hakodesh through the prayers, understanding how the Hebrew language works, and applying that to the prayers and seeing how every letter, every word of the Hebrew language, what it means, how it applies, how we could take that for both of us being able to understand how to talk to Hashem, and also for us to be able to speak the Hebrew language. It's the same basic rules. So here we go. We're going to start off in the beginning where it says, Baruch Atah Hashem. We're next to the bracha of Netilat Yadaim. And we're saying the first word here is Baruch. What does the word Baruch mean? This is an interesting word, and all the rabbis talk about it because it's such an interesting word here. So we take it for granted because we think we're so used to it from growing up and saying it every day so many times. But actually what happens here with this word is, the root of the word is birech, which means, birech would mean he blessed. Okay, let's get that clear. Remember the rule that when you have three-letter word, it's going to mean past tense because it's a shorish, and it's also male form. So birech will mean he blessed. Hu birech means he blessed. Okay. Now, when you have a letter vav after the first letter, if you would say the word omer, that means the word say. That would mean the word saying. Omer means saying because a vav after the first letter makes it that it is present tense. Adding a vav after the second letter, though, doesn't make present tense. If I would say that the delet, the door, is patuach, that means the letter vav after the second letter doesn't mean present tense, but it means that the verb, something happened to the verb, that verb action of opening happened to the item. The door is open. Delet patuach means the door is open. So Baruch doesn't mean he blessed, because that would be three letters. It doesn't mean also present tense, because if it would be present tense, it wouldn't say Baruch with a vav after the first letter. If the second letter, it would say after the first letter. When it has it after the second letter, it means that the verb is happening to the person. That's why in many Siddurim they write that the word Baruch means that Hashem is blessed. The verb happened to him because the vav is after the second letter. Like we say in real estate, that the most important factor in real estate is three things. Number one, location. Number two, location. Number three, location. Same thing is true with the letter vav. Depends where the letter vav is. If it's before the word, it means and. It also can mean flipping tenses, the vav ha'hipuch. The vav after the first letter means present tense, like we said in the word omer. And the vav after the second letter means that it's reflective. The verb happened to the item. The vav at the end of the word means they, past tense. We're going to get to that hopefully soon. But so far we want to explain what it means that Hashem is blessed. Hashem doesn't need us to bless him. But when we say that he is blessed, what type of praise is that? So all the rabbis talk about this word blessed. The first one to say that Hashem is blessed is Yitro. Baruch Hashem, Asher Yetzil Etchem, which I wrote a whole article about that, and I will be forwarding to the link. So you could have, what does it mean here, the word Baruch? There's two explanations. Either we're saying that Hashem is the source of all blessing. He is the source of all blessing. Or the word Baruch means that we are giving back everything back to Hashem from the word Havracha, which means like the word Brecha, which means the word like a pool, the same shorsh. And we spoke about this in the past, that you could take the root of the word and it's like silly putty. You could change it, you could pull it, you could stretch it. And that's why we're going to take the letters of Bet Resh Chaf, and it doesn't only mean necessarily bless, it also can mean like we connect something, like we take a branding of, you take a branch of a tree and you connect it to another tree, that's called Havracha. The same thing is true also with the idea of Brecha, which means things that gather, a pool of water, things that are connected and in one source. And that would mean here about the word Baruch Atah Hashem, saying that Hashem is the source of all blessing. We're sourcing everything back to God. And this way, Hashem is going to give us more blessing. We'll have the link. You'll have it in the email. The next word over here is Ata Hashem. It means that you, Ata means you must learn all of the tenses. All of the, not tenses, I mean, all of the different people. Ani, Ata, who, he. We're going to have that list, hopefully. You have to master that list. Know it by the tip of your fingers, because that is a root for all the additions. The letter Taf here of the Ata sticks out, and that means that the Taf add-on before or after the word will mean you. If I say Tomar, it's the Taf of Ata that is telling us you will say, and if it say Amarta, it means you said. The addition of the Taf will always represent the word Ata. The next word over here is Hashem, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. Hashem, the name of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is the name of Hashem that is hidden from us. He's above our comprehension. He is past, present, future. Hayah hoveh v'hiyeh. So that's the word of Hashem here in this bracha. Elokenu, Elokim Shalanu, we said. When you have the mem here, Elokenu, the mem shell drops. We spoke about this in the past class. Memshel of Elokenu is Elokim Shelanu. And this word of Elokim, the name of Hashem, that he is the same letters of Elokim, of the same numerical value as the words of Teva, the word Teva, which means nature. Which means to say that there's two revelations of God. There's the way God, how he is himself. Hashem is above our comprehension. Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is above our comprehension. Elokenu means how we perceive him. Through the nature, we perceive God. That's the way how he reveals himself to us. We, of course, cannot see him or fathom him, but the way that we recognize him is through the world that how he portrays us through the world that he created. So that's what it means, Elokenu. Now, I want you to notice that you start off with saying Ata here. You're saying, blessed are you. So he's talking straight to Hashem. So it's going to be an important factor here in breaking down the proper Hebrew of this word, of this bracha. Melech haolam. We said before, Melech haolam does not mean king of the world, but it means the one who is molich haolam. It means the one who is directing the world. Asher kideshanu. That he sanctifies us. The word kadosh here, remember what we're going to do is here, it's not really kiddeshanu, it's kiddesh otanu. Kiddesh otanu. The word kiddesh, the word holy, is the improper English translation for the word kiddesh. Kadosh does not mean holy. Kadosh means separated. Separated can be translated to above, holy. It can be also translated as somebody who is designated for improper behavior, like the harlot. She's referred to Ayeh HaKedeshah. She is considered the one who's separated for inappropriate behavior. Also, we'll find in the Torah when it discusses about the Kilayim, it also calls it Kadosh, which means to say that it is separated for inappropriate usage. Kiddush Otanu. So here is saying that Hashem, he separated us. He made us unique. When we say that the Beit HaMikdash is a Kodesh HaKodashim, it means that he had not only the Holy of Holies, but more precisely, it's an area that is pulled back from one area to another area. It's separate, beyond separate. Of course, like we said, that the Shorish is silly putty. We could play around with the Shorish, with the root, and explain it in different ways. So the word Kadosh means holy, it means separate, it means divided, it means above, and also means designated. So Kiddeshanu means that he Kiddesh Otanu. Be-mitzvotav, with his mitzvot. Now let's see this interesting word, because really this word is supposed to be this. It's mitzvah shelo, the mitzvah shelo, and b'mitzvot shelo, b'mitzvot shelo. And this word of b'mitzvot means with mitzvot, shelo means his. We have the rule, we said it a few times already, that the word that keeps going incognito, it keeps this, it's really there, but you don't see it, is the word shel. The word shel, if you'll have two nouns one next to each other, for example, you have the noun Rosh Ha'ish, means head, the man. Rosh Hashanah means head, the year. So where do we put into Rosh Hashanah head of the year? The word of is the word shel. Shel means belonging to. Shel is going to always drop. This is a very important rule in the Hebrew language. So Rosh Shel Ha'ish is really what you mean to say when you say Rosh Ha'ish. But just because it's two nouns, two person, places, or things next to each other, a head is a noun and Ha'ish is a noun, and they're together, so we say Rosh Shel Ha'ish. So over here is saying mitzvot shelo. What does it mean mitzvot shelo? Is mitzvot. And the word shel here is going to also drop, because shel always drops, because we're saying two nouns next to each other, and you don't have to say that the shel that it belongs to, so it's the mitzvot that belong to him. It turned into mitzvot tav, just like that. So then he sanctified us in his mitzvot. Our rabbis teach us that Hashem himself does the mitzvot, because that's why he calls it his mitzvot. It's the commandments that he himself keeps to. He keeps his own taryag. Mitzvot, his own 613. Asher kedeshah b'mitzvotav. Then we have the word here, vitzivanu. And he commanded us. Because the word over here, vitzivanu, let's break that one down. Vitziva otanu means he commanded us. The reason why the otanu means us is because otanu, the word of anachnu, which means we, is the word that nu is representing. So vitziva nu, and he commanded. Tziva means command. Mitzvah, many people think means a good deed. Many Americanism, what does mitzvah mean? They'll tell you mitzvah means a good deed. What a mistake. They learned Hebrew from Uncle Moshe. Mitzvah doesn't mean a good deed. Mitzvah means a commandment. Tziva means and he commanded. So vetzivanu means and he commanded us. Let's take that to another level, because we're going to have to ask questions on that. Al Netilat Yadaim. He commanded us on the mitzvah of Netilat Yadaim. Netilah means take. That's what it means. Yadaim means hands. That's what Yadaim means. Al means on. Netilat means taking. Yadaim, hands. The reason why it's Netilat Yadaim here is because it should have been Netilah Shel Yadaim, taking of the hands. What happened here is, we know the rule that in the Hebrew language, that when you have the word Eshet Avraham, that means the wife of Abraham. But really, that wasn't the way it should have been, that word. It's really it's a proper Hebrew of what was really supposed to be there, which was Isha Shel Avraham, the woman of Abraham. That's what it really meant. Isha Eshet Avraham means Isha Shel Avraham, the woman of Avraham. But again, the shell drops, and when the shell drops and there's a female word before the second word of the what we're possessive to, it turns into, the hey turns into a taf. So Isha Shel Avraham, the hey turns into Eshet Avraham. If we'll take, for example, the word Malka Shel Achash Verosh, that will be and turn into Malkat Achash Verosh. That's a rule in the Hebrew language. Then it's possessive and it's a shell that dropped. That means to us that the hey will turn into a taf. So let's go back to the word here. Nitilat Shel Yadaim would mean Nitilat Yadaim. That's where we got the taf there. So the word Nitilat means to take. What exactly are we taking when we're doing the Netilat Yadayim? So the rabbis talk about this question. The concept that the rabbis explain about this is that It means to say that you're taking your hands and uplifting them. You're taking them from a state of impurity and you are bringing them to a state of purity. That's one of the explanations. Another explanation of the word Netilat Yadaim is the word of a cup, of a water base, of the cup that you wash your hands with, is called a natla. So if that would be the case, that the cup that you use to wash your hands is called a natla, so then the natla of the Yadaim, what you use to wash your hands, would be Netilat Yadaim. So you're blessing Hashem over here for the mitzvah that He made you separate from other people, from the goyim, with His mitzvot, and He commanded you to use this natla for the hands. Now, this is interesting because Vitzivanu means Hashem commanded us on His mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim, which Hashem did not ever command us to do the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim. The one who commanded us to do the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim was actually King Solomon, Shlomo HaMelech. He had a few things that he inaugurated in the Jewish nation, and the rabbis accepted these new takanot, these new things that he accepted. One of them was to do the mitzvah of Netilat Yadayim, that you should use the water basin. So if Shlomo HaMelech was one who brought it to our attention that we should take on this, and the rabbis accepted this new takana, so why does it say Vitzivanu that he commanded us? Hashem didn't command us. Shlomo HaMelech brought it to the rabbis' attention, and the rabbis accepted. So this is a mitzvah from the rabbis. But it's not a mitzvah that Hashem commanded us. So why do we say Vitzivanu? The same question would be applicable also to the bracha of lighting the candles of Shabbat, lighting the candles of Hanukkah. Hashem didn't command us to do those mitzvot. Those mitzvot are from the rabbis. So why do we say Vitzivanu and He commanded us? The answer is because Hashem told us to listen to the words of our rabbis. And if that's the case, what the rabbis commanded us is part of what Hashem is commanding us. And that is the summary of the bracha of Al Netilat Yadayim.